with Dr. Benita Zahn.
Kidney disease can creep up on you silently over many years, and left untreated, it can lead to kidney failure, end-stage renal disease. And to clear waste and water from your blood, your choices become dialysis or kidney transplant. More than 661,000 Americans have kidney failure, and of these, 468,000 are on dialysis. Living with kidney disease needs a holistic approach, and that involves your diet. Jessianna Saville is a renal dietitian, and she's my Health Beat guest. Good to have you.
Hey, nice to be here, Benita.
So I want to start with, if you don't know that you're suffering kidney disease, so where does that leave us vis-a-vis our diet?
That is a great question. I think you have to even back up a little bit on that and say this is something you should be proactively looking for and your primary care should be looking for. It's easily picked up on a basic lab panel and something I think is really easy for most people to do. But for the general public, there is never any harm in increasing our fruit and vegetable intake, just period, right there. I know it's so cliche to say, but we use that tool of fruit and vegetables in a renal diet all the time. We leverage it for enormously powerful results.
We hear a lot about salt in the diet, but in reality, isn't it only a small percentage of the public who in fact is salt sensitive vis-a-vis their kidneys?
You know what, that's a really controversial question. It's quite a controversial debate right now. The research on sodium restriction and kidney disease specifically is very, very compelling that reducing sodium is protective to the kidneys. But there is a subset of people that are not salt sensitive. However, as a kind of broad approach, we definitely recommend people bring their sodium down. No is not better than low, is what I always say. You need some sodium, but we tend to eat excessive quantities in our American diet.
Yeah, and all the processed foods. So right away, you've given us tips. Bump up on the fruits and veggies. We just did a story that 5 servings, a combo of fruit and veggies, is the optimal. You don't have to be 22, 5. 5 a day is your optimum. Trim down on the salt consumption. Now let's talk about people who in fact do have kidney disease, and you have to help them. And I was sharing a little with you, my dad's kidneys kicked. He had hypertension and it wasn't treated well, and he lost kidney function. He was on dialysis, and I joked, Jessianna, I wanted to create a line of food called SoK, because you needed low sodium and low K, potassium. So let's talk a little bit about how you help people who have kidney disease eat.
So one thing that's really important to understand and is very, very commonly misunderstood is that there is not one renal diet. There just isn't one thing. And the reason why is because per the stage of kidney disease, the necessary restrictions change. So if you're on dialysis, your diet is very, very different than somebody who has just been diagnosed, or even from somebody that has polycystic kidney disease or autoimmune kidney disease. There's a whole gamut of nutrition intervention based on your stage and your underlying cause. So that's one of the most important things. People get really, really confused when they read online. What always happens, Benita, is people will go into their doctor, they'll get this diagnosis, very scared, as I think all of us would be, and they go online, they type in, what's the best diet for kidneys, how do I save my kidneys, renal diet. They're very savvy, they use the word renal, and up pops up all this information, which is truly written for somebody on dialysis and not for somebody at earlier stages. And so they end up eating what I call actually the scared diet, which is, I don't really know what to eat, but I'm pretty sure I saw these 3 foods on all the lists. So I'll just stick with these 3 foods until I can figure it out.
So what I'm hearing also you say now is the key is, if you get a diagnosis that your kidney function is diminishing, you must work with someone who is well-versed in nutrition for your condition.
Oh man, it is 100% game changer. 100%. We see people turn their kidney disease around and not even have to think about dialysis as being the option down the road. It really is truly that powerful.
Let me jump in and ask,
right,
what kind of changes might you implement with your patient so that their kidney disease doesn't progress?
So we take a holistic approach, and I think one piece that is very clarifying for people is to understand that there's two pieces to the therapy. There is preventing complications. So that's where, to what you were saying, potassium, phosphorus, even sodium. So these are things that can prevent complications. They don't necessarily preserve your function. Sodium can, but potassium, phosphorus, not really. Then there are things that actually can help you preserve your kidney function. Some of the big hitters, and we use quite a few different strategies, but the big hitters, core pieces, if you have chronic kidney disease, a plant-based diet, a really smart plant-based, plant-forward diet is very effective. Reducing your protein intake. Again, no is not better than low. So a lower protein intake are two core strategies that we focus on, and as well as getting the diet very alkaline, which is, for simplicity's sake, really just getting more fruits and vegetables in the diet. And that's a very simple approach, but that it's hugely powerful.
And it's a good takeaway for all of us to take some time, review what we're eating, how we're eating, and because food is medicine ultimately.
And like I said, it's so powerful. Some of the data shows, that more than 80% of people, when they diagnose, want to get nutrition advice, but less than 15% actually get referred to a dietitian, which is absurd to me. It truly is absolutely absurd, because nutrition is the foundational treatment of kidney disease.
Well, Jessianna, maybe we just started it and we can bump it up, at least in the local community. Jessianna Saville, a renal dietitian. Thanks so very much. Great information. And for more info on kidney disease, check out the link section at WNYT.com. We'll see you next time. Stay well.